There are laws that govern the universe, and when you understand these laws, you can use them to create the life you want. Think about how many people work hard. They work hard every single day. If working hard was the answer to living an abundant life, a wealthy life, to attracting riches, to attracting the lifestyle you want, most people would actually be living the lifestyle that they want, because most people are very hard workers. Then we can see the opposite. We can see some people who don't seem to work hard at all, yet they have the lifestyles that most people want. They're doing the things they want. They're experiencing the things they want. They're going to the places that they want. Why is it that somebody who doesn't seem to work hard is attracting everything, and somebody else who seems to be working very hard is struggling to get by? Well, this is explained simply by understanding the laws of the universe. And one of the best philosophies that I've come across that explain the laws of the universe are the 7 Hermetic Principles. If you're unfamiliar with the 7 Hermetic Principles, stick around right to the end, because I'm going to go through them and I'm going to explain why the practice of semen retention perfectly aligns you to mastering these 7 principles. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Nakula, and I help men master their S3X energy so you can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom and unleash your masculine leadership. Go to the link in the description below and take the free transmutation guide. You can also book a call on my schedule if you're interested in really mastering this art of transmutation, and if you're interested in applying the 7 Hermetic Principles into your own business and life. The guys that apply these principles see a massive difference, and these principles are already embedded in the Powerhouse Man training that we've developed. But we're going to take these principles out and really analyze them, at least at a high level, in today's video. But the guys that master these principles, or even not even master it, but they just get better and better, like developing a muscle. You know, as you get stronger, you get benefits. As you work your way towards becoming a more self-mastered man, you're benefiting from the progress. It's not like the rewards are at the end. The reward in itself is the progress, and you're also seeing your world take shape around you, or reshape around you, as you progress in these principles. So principle number 1 of the Hermetic Principle is the principle of mentalism. All is mind. The universe is mental. We live in the mind of the universe, the mind of God. And we are also mind. When you understand this, if you've ever watched any Dr. Joe Dispenza talks or videos, he talks about this idea of becoming nothing, meaning not taking on any personal identity and allowing your body to naturally reorganize itself. And by focusing on the space or the mind, the subtle body, you actually start corresponding or talking directly from what he calls the field. The Hermetic Principle is calling it the mind. Joe Dispenza calls it the field. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's called the field of activity. It is the mental construct in which you live in. And everything is mind. Even the way that you're listening to me right now, where are you hearing me? You may think, well, I'm hearing you on YouTube or wherever you're watching this, or I'm listening to you on my device. But you're not. You're actually seeing me and hearing me in your mind. It is your brain that is interpreting what it is that you're seeing, and you're seeing it in here, but your eyes, it feels like you're projecting it out here. Light is coming into your eyes and it's giving you the picture. It's telling you what this energy is. This correlates right to the next principle, but the first principle to understand and accept is that everything is mind. This alone should motivate you to have a stronger mind. And how do you get a stronger mind? Mainly the development of will. Willpower is the ability to put your mind into a specific state, and that specific state then begins to create your reality. And how does it create your reality? Well, let's go into principle number 2, the principle of correspondence. Correspondence is simply as above, so below, as within, so without. On whatever is happening on the micro is happening on the macro. Whatever is happening spiritually is happening materially. That the universe is ultimately fractals that is essentially unfolding, or at every level or every dimension of the universe, the exact same thing is happening, mirroring itself in different ways or different dimensions. Meaning, the more that you are on as your mind is, your body is. As your spirit is, your mind is, which becomes your body. The author of the Hermetic Principles, or the Kabbalion, is, and I struggle to say his names, Hermes Trismegistus. And this is a put-together name, which was actually, the Kabbalion is essentially known by the three initiates, the three initiates. And so there is a lot of mystery around where or who actually wrote this knowledge down, but there's no doubt on its effectiveness to anyone who's actually applied these principles into their life. And again, I've done this with so many guys, and some of my guys are already super successful. Many of the guys that I work with and coach are very successful guys in their own right, but they've capped on limits. They can't work any harder. They can't put in more time. They're like, Nakula, I can't work any harder. I don't have much more time in the day. How do I go to the next level? It's clearly not just about working hard. It's clearly not just knowing all the right marketing strategies or the right pickup lines. No, it's a game of vibration, which is outside of time, energy. It's a game of energy, and it's a game of self-mastery. Correspondence is as everything is happening on all these different levels, and one level affects the next level. Everything is corresponding with everything else. Everything is attached. Everything is connected. We tend to think linearly, but in the quantum realms, where this is what these Hermetic principles are working with, we know that by changing, by making a shift in one particle, another particle that seems to be not connected at all can have the exact same shift at the exact same time. So understanding this law of correspondence, whatever I'm doing spiritually is manifesting materially. Whatever I'm doing materially is exactly what's happening spiritually. Meaning, if my mind is made to be a certain way, the external environments will correspond to my mind. You're essentially living in a mental construct. And once you understand you're living in a mental construct, then you can realize I can create my own mental construct using these principles or laws. The word Hermetic means, like gnosis, knowledge, using this knowledge, this wisdom. This generally it's called occult wisdom, but I just think it's just wisdom for everyone, actually. I think that there are many secret societies formed over the years around these principles, or variations or different ways of explaining these principles. The laws can't be adjusted or changed, but once you get to know them, you kind of want to keep them a secret, because you realize, wow, you can become really powerful by using these. So the law of correspondence. Then there's the principle of vibration. Now I'm going to tie in why semen retention at the end helps you align with these principles. But everything is vibration simply means everything is moving, nothing is stagnant, everything is vibration. We know this. We know this microphone, even though it appears to be solid, when we go down to the quantum level, everything is vibrating. In fact, what we see with our physical eyes is not really solid at all. It's our minds that make it so. It's energy. What is matter? Matter is or condensed energy. Energy that has been lowered to a certain vibrational frequency. The higher the frequency, the higher up on the scale you go, or you rise. Meaning, the more your mind becomes the master mind. Think about it. You are wearing clothes right now, maybe, I hope, but I assume you're wearing some clothes. That clothes that you're wearing, the design of that clothes was in someone else's mind. You live in somebody else's construct of mind. When you drive your car, it was somebody else's mind that created that. When you log on to Facebook, it's Mark Zuckerberg's mind that you're entering. And now all the many shareholders and people involved. But you are always in somebody's mind. The question is, how powerful would you like your mind to be? Understand that everything is vibration and your job is to raise your vibration. And as you raise your vibration, like think of a harp, a series of strings, a series of vibrations. And as you play that harp, you can create a continuity, a sound, a music, a song that moves people. That's why music is so powerful, because the universe, think of the name universe, universe. Uni means one, verse is rhythm or song. It's all like a harp. And you can use your mind to play the strings. And as you raise the vibration, you can attract in the good experiences easier and easier towards you. And this also takes us into our fourth principle, which is the principle of polarity. What is polarity? Opposites. North pole, south pole. Everything has its polar opposite in the universe. If you want pleasure, then you're accepting pain. If you want to grow a business and have abundance, then you must feel, or you must exchange its polar opposite, which is to live very scarcely or very efficiently for a long period of time. You must sacrifice the polar opposite to then experience abundance. You must know how to experience pain if you're willing to experience pleasure. And to the degree you can experience one is to the degree you'll experience the other. Think of someone like a character like Jesus Christ, who experienced great amounts of suffering, but yet at the same time, he's also described as absolutely loving, experiencing absolute bliss and joy. Shiva was also described like this, and Buddha was also described like this. Buddha went down to tremendous years of suffering, pain, to then experience enlightenment, nirvana. The word nirvana literally means to have blown out. He's blown his mind out. He is now part of the universal mind. His mind is blown out. He's no longer in the human mind. These guys were above that human mind that many of us are still working to blow out. Understanding polarity means accepting the dynamics of life, the opposites, not fighting with them, but harmonizing, recognizing that one cannot exist without the other. We all have polars in ourselves. I know I do. There's a part of me that just wants to bang every girl he sees, do drugs all day, run around naked, right? Total hedonism, all right? And then there's another part of me that could be like a monk and could be very kind and very generous. And we can see that all throughout man. You could probably see it within yourself. Well, to the degree that you have the capacity of one is to the degree that you could have the capacity of the other. And the idea is to harness it. Don't be afraid of the polar opposite. Make friends with it. Know how to balance it. That's what alchemy is. That's what the Hermetic Principles teach you to do. Alchemy is about balancing the masculine, feminine polarities within yourself and transcending them, not meaning they don't exist, but meaning you have awareness of how they are correlating or working together. They're not enemies. And then we get into the principle of rhythm. Well, think about that you've got two poles and they send a vibration from one pole to the next. That's simply done by a rhythm or a wave. Understanding that everything has a rhythm is important for peace and happiness. In and out. I breathe in, I breathe out. If I want a different result in life, change the rhythm. I tell the guys working with me, my students, as they're going through the year, I said, you're establishing a rhythm. Up, do your practices, do your sales calls, do your emails, get to your second workout, go to, put in the rest of the day, do your creative activities, go home, have an awesome time with your family, do it the next day. It's like get into a rhythm. And there are smaller rhythms and there are larger rhythms. Smaller rhythms, daily rhythms, larger rhythms. Some rhythms are cycles. Some things show up every so often, every few years. The more you can recognize the rhythms that you're living in, then the more you can consciously adjust the rhythm to get you the result that you're looking for. And this takes us into the principle of cause and effect, which is the sixth Hermetic principle. This is the principle of you reap what you sow, karma. For every effect, there's a cause, and for every cause, there's an effect, and they can't escape. And when you choose, if you know the effect of something and you consciously choose to participate in it, then essentially you're choosing the consequence, either on a positive or negative. If I choose to continue to build our training programs up and to put in sales calls and to deliver valuable content and to make a better brand, then I'm choosing the consequence of growing the business, having more income and abundance. If I choose to work out every day, then naturally I'm choosing the consequence of developing a stronger body, having more vitality. If I choose to jerk off every day, then I'm choosing to have a depleted testosterone. I'm choosing to be low energy. I'm choosing to be out of mastery or out of control of myself. If you choose to eat crap, you get the point. Once you understand this principle, this law, which is taught in all traditions, this is probably one of the principles that is found in all traditions, which is cause and effect. In today's world, I think it's Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal reaction. That's this principle. Understanding that is happening all the time. So live consciously, choose wisely, because what you choose to engage in and what you choose to do, you are simultaneously choosing that outcome. This should free you, not scare you. People are like, oh my gosh, that's because they think in negative terms. Oh, but I do all this bad stuff all day long. Why are there consequences? Hey, but if you're doing all this good stuff all day long, you're excited for this principle. These laws should excite you. If they scare you, it's because you're not fully understanding the power that they give you once you consciously activate or use the law. And the last principle of the Hermetic Principles is the principle of gender. Masculine and feminine is everywhere in all planes of existence, meaning it's not just a material reality. The material reality is a reflection of the spiritual reality, and the spiritual reality also has masculine and feminine. This is depicted as yin and yang by the Taoists, Radha and Krishna by certain sects of Hindu or Vaishnavism. This is reflected in Jesus when he says, I am the Omega and the Alpha and the Omega. I am masculine, feminine. This is depicted in Shiva as half man, half woman. The word Shiva meaning the ultimate. And he's reached the ultimate. And that's why Shiva, if you look at Shiva, he naturally did these principles. He seemed to be the polar opposite. He was an enigma, a contradiction, a walking contradiction. You would see him and he would be a junkyard dancing naked. He would be doing all kinds of wild things. And then at other times he would be like a monk, meditating for years on end. His mastery and his level of life was just beyond. He was Shiva, the ultimate. You can also be the opposite, Shava, death. The opposite of life. Most people are Shava. They're the opposite of their ultimate self. They're at their lowest self. But that's our job, is to rise up to our highest self. So understanding gender is important because we have to understand that it's the combination between masculine and feminine that bring in creation. Creation doesn't happen without these two. The principle of masculinity is like a driving force, getting things done, moving things forward. But without the feminine, the masculine can become destructive. He can move. The masculine, like fire, can burn, torch everything. He needs the feminine energy to cool his masculinity so that he can be controlled. And the opposite is the feminine, cooling like water. It can take shape, take form. It can bring beauty and calmness. The combination of the two is where alchemy is born. Making sure that you understand gender is important at a spiritual level to understand how to create things. If you want to create a baby, you need a man and a woman. No matter what the New Age philosophies say, you need a man and a woman because you need the masculine and feminine principle. If you want to create an awesome brand, you need a man and a woman. You need the masculine energy to drive things forward, have deadlines, get things done, set structure, be stable. And you need the feminine energy to bring beauty, nurturing, to make it attractive. When you know how to use these two energies within yourself, you have mastered one of the 7 Hermetic Principles. And you'll notice that as you master one, they all correlate because of principle number 2, correspondence. They all correspond with each other as well, meaning as you get better at one, naturally you get better at the others. Because it's a game of self-mastery. And that's why semen retention is the ultimate practice for the 7 Hermetic Principles. Because as you practice semen retention, first of all, your mind will become stronger through the practice of willpower. Your mind will also expand because you'll start to notice your own energies. You'll learn to move energy within your body. You'll learn to direct your mind at higher and higher levels. You'll learn to focus more and more and more on a concentrated goal, allowing you to attract easier, to create, and to become like a force in this world, like a laser beam who could penetrate and boom, make something happen. Because you'll be vibrating on a higher level, you'll be climbing up the scale of vibration, and your ability to attract will be increased. Everything that you're doing will be of a higher quality, which will correspond to all your results. You'll feel a higher quality of relationship with God. Your thoughts will be of higher quality, and you'll be able to attract higher quality experiences in the physical realm. You will naturally feel the polarity within you, that dynamic drive, that animalistic drive that makes you want to dominate, that makes you want to fucking fight, balanced with the spiritual drive to want to nurture and love and serve. Semen retention will put you into a rhythm of growth, which will constantly make you expand. You are now an expanding being. And if you're expanding, you'll become eternal, because essentially your soul will continue to expand beyond the death of this body. You'll notice the principle of cause and effect happening quicker and quicker. It takes less effort for you to get the result. This is why so many people can create. This is why the guy who doesn't seem to work that hard but seems to be getting the results, and the guy who's working very hard but not getting to the results, is because they're at a different vibration. Their minds are made up differently, and they have stronger polarity. The person who is in a high rhythm, a high vibration, never needs to work as hard as the guy who doesn't. He does something and he feels the cause and effect of it. He plants a seed, boom. That's why you hear masters like Jesus Christ, where all he would have to say is, "You are healed," and healed. There's the story of Chaitanya, who planted a mango seed and boom, the mango tree just appeared. That's the vibrational frequency that these guys were carrying. And the principle of gender will naturally be harmonized through the principles of sexual alchemy that I teach inside of my trainings and courses, by learning to move energy, by learning to bring down the cooling energy of water, mix it with your sexual energy, the element of fire, and create that as spiritual energy, ojas, aura, and focus it through mental power. This is the practices: meditation, qigong, yoga, pranayama, muscle control. These series of techniques and practices will have you master the ability to raise your sexual energy, control it, and therefore get in alignment with the 7 Hermetic Principles, which are ultimately the laws of the universe. I hope this video took you down a rabbit hole. And again, this is just a short video. I know it's 25 minutes. It's not that short, but it really is short when you think about the depth of the philosophy. The reality is I can run 3-day workshops on just one of these principles. So if you want to dive in, if you want to become a mastermind, if you want to learn to reconstruct your life in the way that you see it, take your business and take your life to the next level, then come book some time with me. I'd love to show you the way that I can help you do that. And if we're a right fit, because we're not always a good fit for each other, that's the reality. But if you're interested to seeing if you're a right fit for one of my training programs, then make sure you book some time with me. Take the free guide to start, reach out and connect. And let's have fun, man. When you learn these principles, life becomes fun. You kind of feel like a magician. You can wave your wand and make things happen. I'll see you on the next video.